Most of the time, when we talk about getting stuck in toxic relationships, the stories are kind of the same. You put someone on a pedestal, and then you're basically wasting time trying to prove yourself, prove that you can sit right next to them. But there's a pattern that keeps us as stuck in as bad of situationships. And it is when someone finally sees you, your maturity, your intelligence, how much you have to offer. But instead of letting them come to you, you keep giving more. Until one day, you look around and you're like, whoa, something is off. Have I been doing all the freaking work? Have I been needling this dough, thinking we are making delicious cookies together while you're giving me freaking breadcrumbs? Meet Sally. And she is not your typical rom-com sweetheart who's gonna be swept off her feet. No, biz. Sally be practical. Sally be grounded. Sure, passion and romance is all fine and good, but how far can it actually take you? She's also not your typical pick-me. If a taken man is making a pass on her, she is quick to shut it down. Sally has strong values and she sticks to them. And yet somehow, instead of a man pursuing her because of her maturity, because of her intelligence, her morals, she is the one who keeps extending herself.
Would you like to have dinner with me sometime?
This is a story about what happens when being recognized for your value becomes also the reason why you do all of the work. And biz, been there, done that. Am I right? Please don't let me be the only one. So in this video, we are going to look at Sally's journey, how she got stuck in the teacher role, how she missed that she is giving herself freely to someone who doesn't give the same back, and how, despite Sally getting her happy ending, you probably won't. So we can do better. When Harry Met Sally is actually a love story, but it's a little bit revolutionary for that time. Because instead of the whole love at first sight and then we overcome everything until we unite at the end again, this is a story of love developing through friendship. At least that's what the movie is trying to sell us. So from the get-go, Sally is shown as someone who is very grounded, very practical, knows her shit. And as a student, she wants to have a life worth living.
That's why I'm going to New York.
Now, here's the thing with every young, strong woman who knows what she wants. Usually, there is still something missing in the foundation, some cracks that need to be, filled in. When Harry, her annoying driving buddy, doesn't buy her love is not all shtick, Sally doesn't roll her eyes, brush it off, whatever makes you feel better, buddy. But she needs to defend herself.
I have had plenty of good sex.
And this is the pattern that we see through her whole ride from Chicago to New York. She easily gets pulled into proving herself.
I have just as much of a dark side as the next person.
When Harry is asking a little bit too personal questions, and even though Sally is like, I don't need to explain you these things, the second he pulls away and he's not interested in it anymore, she feels the need to give the answer.
Shell Gordon.
Oh, Sally is gonna prove to you that she should be taken seriously. And honestly, I totally get it. I mean, I found myself being very secure and grounded in my life choices, but when someone actually comes after me or starts being like, what? You chose to let go of your engineering career to do YouTube? I feel like I need to now explain myself why that was a smart choice. At the end, it doesn't really change much.
You did not have great sex with Shell.
It just shows them that they got to you, right? It's a bait. But a bait doesn't work if you don't bite. And that's what we are striving for. Don't bite. So this is the first time that Sally and Harry meet, sharing this ride to New York. And Harry is your typical obnoxious, know-it-all man who keeps on poking at Sally.
No, you're probably one of those cheerful people who dots their eyes with little hearts.
He knows everything, and Sally is just a little young, silly girl that doesn't know what life is, okay? She also doesn't know that men and women can't ever be friends.
Because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
Side note, I might have mentioned it before, but when I was in high school and for our psychology class, we had to write an essay. I wrote an essay about how men and women can't ever be just friends. Yeah. I mean, that's why I went from engineering to doing this. But the most interesting thing about this whole situation is, despite Harry being the one who is, don't want you in my friend group, you can leave, Sally is the one who feels a little bit sad that they cannot be friends.
It's too bad. You were the only person that I knew in New York.
Like this, he's been the one who's been obnoxious, annoying, rude, putting her down. And yet, it's somehow her loss. 5 years later, we see Sally in a relationship with Joe, and despite her now being in this lovey-dovey situation, there's again this hint of, I'm not good enough.
Don't get involved with me, Joe. I am 26 years old and I can't even remember the name of the girl I was...
They're actually at the airport because Sally is about to travel, and who is there? Who is walking up the track? It is Harry. Though Harry doesn't recognize Sally, he recognizes Joe. They go way back, and Sally is a little bit relieved.
Thank God he couldn't place
It seems that despite feeling a little bit sad that no friendship ever developed, this time, 5 years later, with a little bit more maturity, Sally is not even having it.
It was the longest night of my life.
She grew. They end up on the same flight, and Harry, being Harry, has some more lectures for Miss Sally. Also because he's getting married and Sally is not, so he can tell her what her problem is.
How long do you like to be held afterward? All night, right? See, that's the problem.
Yes, ladies, the solution is simple. If you like to hug during the night and you want to be married, you just need to buy a fluffy toy. To be honest though, Sally herself is not the peachiest here, because when she hears that Harry, the obnoxious guy who is basically not the best around women, is getting married, she cannot hold her laughter back.
Who is she?
So we can say that Sally needs to sit down, order some matcha latte, and, be a better version of herself. The thing is that Harry didn't get married because it was the right person, the right fit. It was just the right time.
Get to a certain point where you get tired of the whole life of a single guy.
The privilege of being a man in those times. It's not about true partnership. It's about when the light turns on. Though this time, the roles reverse a little bit. While at the first meeting, Sally was the one who seemed to be a little bit saddened that they can't form a friendship, Harry, despite his philosophy on women and men not being able to be friends, actually invites her for dinner. Because, if you're in a relationship, then you can be friends with another sex, I guess.
That doesn't work either.
But as I said, it's been 5 years, and it seems that Sally learns that she does not need to be lectured by someone, and she does not need to hang with them.
Goodbye.
It's been another 5 years, and at this point, Sally has broken up with Joe. They came to a point where they just didn't want the same things anymore, and Sally did what any mature woman does, recognizes that this does not make sense. She does not want to invest in this anymore, so she walked away.
I said to myself, you deserve more than this. And the clock is ticking.
And Harry, Harry's breakup or divorce was a little bit more challenging. He got cheated on, and that's something that you don't just, look at it with mature eyes.
I knew the whole time that even though we were happy, it was just an illusion, and that one day she would kick the shit out of me.
Both single this time, Sally and Harry run into each other at a bookstore, and the vibes be different. This time, Harry remembers Sally, and contrary to how he behaved in the past, he seems a little bit more open, not judgmental. Maybe the divorce humbled him a little bit. Bis, when things fall apart, we all get a little bit shaken and humbled. When Sally is sharing how at the beginning her and Joe wanted the same things, but then with time, she kind of recognized that they want different things, Harry is impressed by how well she's taking this whole thing.
Boy, you sound really healthy.
Yeah.
And for Sally, it feels nice. It feels nice that someone is not challenging you, pushing you back, but just simply acknowledging and listening. They go for a walk in the park, and Harry even compliments Sally. You know, back in the day, she was so uptight. He didn't really like her. But now,
You're much softer now.
I want to puke, you want to puke, and Sally wants to puke.
You know, I hate that kind of remark. It sounds like a compliment, but really it's an insult.
Yes, Sally is a smart and mature woman. She even gets the facts straight. Harry was just upset that she didn't want to sleep with him, so he had to make it a character flaw.
Instead of dealing with the possibility that it might have something to do with you.
And yes, again. Now this time, Harry feels a little bit, he feels like he needs to sit down. And he actually wants to apologize for being a jerk back then. What's the statute of limitations on apologies?
10 years.
Ooh, I can just get it in under the wire.
Yeah, Harry never apologizes. I guess it's enough to insinuate you want to apologize, right? Right? People, let's start recognizing when someone is alluding to an apology and when someone is actually giving you an apology. Like, let's pick up those standards from the pits of hell, shall we?
Would you like to have dinner with me sometime?
You see, Sally can walk away from immaturity. She can walk away from people who do not treat her well. She has standards. She is not a desperate, but give her some appreciation. Give her some recognition. Someone finally seeing that she is smart, emotionally intelligent, mature. Oh, that's the door she's walking right through. That makes her feel that she wants to give him more. She wants to show him more. The logic almost goes, he sees that I'm different. He sees that I'm smart, so let me show him more, rather than he should be recognizing that and, pursuing me.
Are we becoming friends now?
Well, yeah.
Sally and Harry develop a friendship, and while healthy friendships are usually a two-way street, Sally be doing all the work. When Harry is sad, Sally is there watching a movie with him. When Harry is bored, Sally is there to keep him company. They're both going through their own breakups, but the way they approach it is a little bit different. While Sally is recognizing that she's not really missing Joe as much as she is missing the idea of Joe, Harry is a little bit more...
No, I missed the whole Helen.
Now, Harry is not always ready to accept what Sally is teaching him, but overall, he really loves being friends with Sally. It gives him so much. He can actually be himself around a woman without worrying about getting her into bed. He can get a woman's perspective on things. He can tell her anything he wants.
I feel like I'm growing.
What? It is an accomplishment to show a man that we are, in fact, decent human beings and not just something you take to bed. And let's not get it twisted. Harry is also giving some insight to Sally. She better not be planning to go on a date in those pants.
I think you should wear skirts more.
And not only does he help her with fashion, he also helps her with understanding herself better.
You're the worst kind. You're high maintenance, but you think you're low maintenance.
I mean, what would we do if a man wouldn't tell us how much work it takes to handle us so we can, appreciate it accordingly? The whole idea of high maintenance, low maintenance is, sit down, please read some books. And look, you might be like Sally, you are not falling for it.
I don't see that.
The problem is that when you want to impress someone, when you are falling for someone with those kind of ideologies, these things creep in. I'm not difficult, but next time, let me make sure that I just don't say too much. And this attitude of women are here for me that Harry has is also shown in how he is basically treating his first date after Helen. He finally goes on a date with someone, even though he was wasn't really feeling it. And the date wasn't really great. They didn't really click. But when Sally acknowledges that, it might take some time before they're able to date someone else, let alone sleep with them. Yeah, Harry doesn't have that problem.
Oh, I went to bed with him.
What did you think? He's gonna go out and not get something out of it? Please. And you better put out. Though sometimes men who think they know it all just need a little bit of a wake-up call. It's another class in session by Miss Sally, and this time the theme is Kex.
How do you know that they're really?
What are you saying? That they fake orgasm?
Sally, girlie, let's calm down. Harry had plenty, and no one has ever faked it with him. But if Harry doesn't want to listen to Sally, well, she can demonstrate. For obvious reasons, we are not going to play the audio of this performance, but this should tell you something.
I'll have what she's having.
There's nothing wrong with sharing with someone new views, right? Teaching them in some way. The problem is when it's not them who seek to understand you better or seek to learn about something, it's you carrying them like a teacher. Harry isn't asking Sally to teach him. He is not trying to understand women better, and that's why he values this relationship. He genuinely believes that he is good as he is.
I forgot. You're a man.
Now, I'm not saying that Harry is an evil villain and he's just using Sally. I think he falls somewhere in between, right? He appreciates when he learns something, but he's also not actively pursuing it. In a way, he's almost just lucky that Sally is someone who just gives, right? And that's where I think the initial problem starts, right? When we don't recognize that I have value and I have something to offer, but like, I also want to see you pursuing that, right? Not just me giving until I recognize that, man, I've been giving quite a lot and not getting much in return. We can also see how Sally starts to care. A simple comment like her looking good in a skirt turns into her wearing a skirt when she hangs with Harry. When she is about to go on a date, she even expresses that she feels weird talking about it to Harry because, they're spending so much time together and he is recovering in a way. But when Harry says that he doesn't really care, Sally doesn't seem as relieved. When they share a dance at a New Year's party, there is again this moment that something more is brewing underneath it all. And who is the one who pulls back? Harry.
Wanna get some air?
And again, in the context of who is Sally versus who is Harry, the role should be reversed. So it makes you kind of see how back in the day, it was very strongly implied that a woman, no matter what her value is, should be happy that a man gives her attention, acknowledges her, and she should just wait even though he doesn't have much to offer. But what happens when he gets a little poked? Well, shit goes down when he sees his ex-partner Helen with her new boo.
We started out like this. We hung things, we picked out tiles.
He is losing it and he is warning his friends to not get married because all relationships and all marriages are just a facade. He storms out of the apartment and Sally goes after him. She's trying to comfort him. And there is such a funny moment when Harry is basically not able to manage his emotions and Sally is giving him a pep talk about how he needs to learn when to show his emotions and when not to.
There are times and places for things.
In a way, this movie was, in fact, revolutionary, right? When do you see a woman telling a man he's too emotional and he needs to just tone it down? And Harry reacts like any woman would react if she would hear those words.
Well, the next time you're giving a lecture series on social graces, would you let me know? Because I'll sign up.
Looking at Sally, what the fuck is this? She is acting like she is not even bothered by her breakup with Joe. This is not normal. She's not normal.
Well, have you slept with one person since you broke up with Joe?
And Sally, this is not how things are gonna go down. What does he think? Just because he can F half of New York that will save anything?
And I don't see that turning Helen into a faint memory for you.
They get in a fight, but this time, Harry apologizes. He actually apologizes.
I'm sorry.
And she right back, gives him a hug. They're in this together. If before I said how we need to recognize when a person is apologizing and when they are just alluding to an apology, this time let's take it a step further, okay? Now we brought our standards from out of pits of the hell, but let's also bring it a little bit higher than just first floor. Apology should not just be words that someone apologizes, but it should also be the reason behind the apology. Like, what are you apologizing for? And how do we move forward? The only thing he needs to do is say that he is sorry, and Sally is right back at it. And that's what happens when your standards are kind of low. The first catch was at the beginning when he was just alluding to apology, and she was immediately ready to hang out with him more and offer him more of herself. Now it came to his growth is that now he does apologize. And again, despite this movie being revolutionary in many ways, it fed into this dynamic of apologies can also be half-assed, because coming that from a man is admirable in itself. Now, it's been 2 years since they started this friendship, and we see Harry and Sally both being with their new partners. But we also see how the cracks are starting to cracking. Neither of them is actually happy for the other one and their relationship, despite the two new partners actually being quite good. Sally has a hunk, and Harry has a hunkus.
Emily's a little young for Harry, don't you think?
Does Julian seem a little stuffy to you?
Clearly, the friendship is not just friendship, but they will have a chance to take it further. Harry is at home and he gets a phone call from Sally, who is hyperventilating. Joe, her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend from 2 years ago, is getting freaking married. Yes, Biz. She ended with him because he didn't want to get married. But Biz, why he be giving it to another person? Then it's not about me getting over a breakup that didn't work out. Then I need to get over the fact that it was me. I'm the problem.
You didn't want to marry me.
So how I approached my breakup, and I think it's better, is to recognize that, yes, the two of you didn't work out, but it's also because not only was he not the right person for you, but you weren't the right person for them. And someone else could be the right person. And it doesn't mean that you are less worthy, and it doesn't mean that you weren't good enough. It's just that the two of you don't click, so you couldn't give one another what you wanted. But because Sally never reached that level of understanding why they broke up, she feels that basically she was the problem. And Harry comes to the rescue. He shows her that she is good enough.
I'm difficult.
He's challenging.
Oh, he's so... No, snap out of it. He is not saying, hey, Sally, you are not difficult. He's basically just softening her blow. It's still something to overcome. And I genuinely hope that today we are a little bit more aware and we can clock when someone says, I love you despite your high maintenance, okay? It's not the love you think it is. Someone can love you without seeing it as a problem they can handle. Now, out of nowhere, in this mix of comforting Sally, Harry kisses her. He just gives her a little smooch on the lips, but enough for Miss Sally to think that this is it. She kisses him back and they do it. And Sally cannot be happier. She's prancing around all in love and she's just enjoying this moment. I mean, from Sally's perspective, this is just things clicking in place. They developed a friendship. She made him a better man. He taught her something, I guess. I mean, fashion is important. They've built all this closeness, and when she needed him, he was there for her. And he kissed her, made love to her.
I will make love to somebody when it is making love.
And that's the thing in real life, right? When you carry so much emotional labor of being the mature one, the patient one, the one who reaches first always, when they finally show you some kind of love, when they are intimate with you, let's say, it feels like it means something. The problem is, and usually more realistic version, a person can learn from you. They can spend time with you. They can benefit from you. They can be a better person because of you. And at the end, they still don't choose you.
I gotta go.
So how do we kind of see when is it good? Like we are growing together, we're actually developing something. And when is it, you doing a little bit too much and the other person is just sucking everything out? The most common thing would be to see how this person behaves. Are they showing up in the same way? Let's say they didn't really know something, right? They didn't really think about that they don't text you more often, or that you're the one who always initiates the calls, and then you talk about it. If they are now the ones who reach out, who initiate the conversations after a conflict, then it means that they are growing with you, right? They appreciate what you teach them and they want to be better because they want this relationship with you. The opposite is that naturally, if someone never actually improves in any way, right? It's always like, oh yeah, I'm sorry again. Oh yeah, I was never good at relationships, or I never was good at expressing my emotions. But then they don't actually put any work in it. Like they listen to you, they tell you that you are right, they tell you that they will be better, but then it stops. If you find yourself always being the one who reaches out first, let's say after a fight, initiates tough conversations, and then you tell yourself it's because you're the more mature one, you're the more patient one, he is more avoidant, he is more this and that, the reality might be that you're doing that because unless you do it, he won't. So that's the thing, right? Teaching, expanding someone's views, blah, 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 nothing wrong with that. We should all be willing to show other people perspectives that they might missing and they're keeping them stuck and so on. But recognize if you're the only one who's doing that. If I stop reaching out, if I stop bridging the bridge, does it just end? And then take the L and say, you know what? I thought you're different, or I thought this is building something. I guess it isn't. I'm going to learn for next time. It's okay. We've all taken the L before and we learn, right? Because here's the thing. While Sally is all happy in love, Harry be feeling differently. He has a little bit more of a problem digesting the whole situation. It is too awkward. Also, the fact that Sally is someone who is, in his view, high maintenance. It's good if you're friends, but am I willing to go the next step and needing to deal with that? Ooh.
You have all your videotapes alphabetized and on index cards.
He's keeping it chill.
I gotta go home, I gotta change my clothes, and then I have to go to work, and so do you.
The thing is that Sally is getting the message.
I did something terrible. Thought it was good.
But then I felt suffocated.
Then I guess it wasn't.
Yet again, an intelligent, attractive, capable woman just feels like she is not good enough for an immature man. And also someone below her lead. There, I said it. First of all, he looks like he could be her dad. Second of all, you really need a second? On the other side, we see Harry himself kind of freaked by it. This is not really what he wanted. The thing was good, the deed was deeding, but the aftermath...
Once we went to bed, we didn't know what we were supposed to do.
So he really, really hopes that Sally sees it as a mistake the same way he sees it, and things will just go back to normal. They're at dinner and Sally is clearly operating from protection.
It was a mistake.
I am so relieved that you think so, too.
And his reaction? Well, not something she would want.
I'm so relieved.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's again this thing, I said it already, take the L. Take the L. Just say, hey, I didn't feel good how you ran out. I actually thought that this is something. I felt that we developed a friendship. I started to develop feelings for you. I thought you did the same. And, here we are. Just be vulnerable and be open and take the L if you need to take the L. But that's so much better than trying to play it cool, than trying to wait for the other person to do the move. And that it goes in any situation. Even if you're just talking to someone and they never initiate inviting you on a date, don't now wait for them to do it, right? Because that's what you expect. If they are interested in me, then no, cut it. No, you're wasting time. Invite the person on a date for you to even see if you actually really like them, okay? And if they say no, It's okay. Yes. Do I feel rejected? Do I feel bad? Yes, I do. Moving on. Okay. I'd rather take the L now than for my whole life. It's been 3 weeks since the deed was done, and the friendship seems to be cooling off. At least that's what we see when the two of them meet each other at their friend's wedding. And while Harry wants to talk to Sally and just pretend like nothing ever happened, Sally is not having it.
We both agreed it was a mistake.
The worst mistake I ever made.
He wants to make sure that when he went there that night to comfort her, he didn't do it to sleep with her. But what was he supposed to do when she was looking at him with those weepy, sad eyes?
Don't go home tonight, Harry. Hold me a little longer, Harry. What was I supposed to do?
Not take advantage of a woman who is clearly vulnerable and sleep with her? What about that, Harry? What about that? Oh, Sally can't believe it. This is what he's now telling her? That he took a pity on her?
Fuck you!
Side note, we do not condone violence. I think it's quite normal how Sally is feeling angry about the whole situation. She genuinely thought that her and Harry have something special that is growing. But she missed to see that Harry was growing very minimal. And the friendship for him was very self-serving. I guess Sally is learning that being recognized doesn't automatically mean that you're the special one who will be chosen. Weeks are passing and Harry is calling, leaving messages, trying to be charming, but it takes weeks before Sally finally answers.
What do you want, Harry?
It's New Year's Eve, and a year ago they actually made a little pact. If they won't be dating anyone by that time or by the next New Year, they should go to a party together. So, Harry is checking in. But Sally, she is done doing this shtick with him.
I'm not your consolation prize. Goodbye.
She decides to go to the party alone, and she's kind of having a mid-time, let's say.
I'm going home.
But at the same time, Harry is having a bit more low moment. He's walking down the street of New York and he is just reminiscing. He's remembering everything him and Sally went through, how the friendship developed, and he finally realizes he loves her.
Thing is, I love you.
Sally is looking at Harry and she's a little bit like, did you hit your head? Like, what are you expecting me to say back? And Harry's like, well, that you love me too?
How that I'm leaving.
Doesn't what I said mean anything to you?
Sally looks at Harry and she gets it. She gets that it's New Year's Eve, that he is feeling lonely. But he can't just come there and do this grand gesture of saying, I love you, and then expect that everything will just go back to place. It does not work that way.
How about this way? I love that you get cold when it's 71 degrees.
He loves that she's taking an hour and a half to order a sandwich. He loves that she gets a little wrinkle above her nose when she's looking at him like he's crazy. He loves when he still smells her perfume on his clothes after the day spent together.
That you are the last person I want to talk to before I go to sleep at night.
And it's not because he's lonely. He came here because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want that to start as soon as possible. While I didn't like the initial part of the speech, like this last part, you want that to start as soon as possible? Yes, biz, yes. Now here is where I have a whole problem. Apart from this being very rare and wishful thinking that this is how it's gonna end, right? His speech is also a little bit giving, I love you even though you're kind of whack. And you should be happy because no one else will. And yes, he also says that he loves how she's the last person he talks to when he goes to sleep, how her perfume lingers on him and so on. And that's all fine. But it's like, why do you need to also pair it with things that sound like a quirk, but it's also kind of a flaw that I'm accepting? Don't worry, I can handle it. How much better would it be if he said, I love that you know what you want. I love that you don't settle. I love the way you're thinking about life and love. Now Sally melts in this moment and she's looking at Harry and she hates the whole situation. She hates that he says something so profound that she cannot even hate him for real.
I really hate you.
And it's kind of like, baby girl, are you like is this like a romantic way of telling him that you love him, like despite how he pisses you off? Or it's like the desperation kicking in. Like this is like, I hate you, man, but like I'm caught in. I gave everything and you made me feel like this is all I can get. So F you, but also hug me. So the two of them actually get married, and we see them sharing their story. And we also see how for Harry, everything feels like it happened so fast. It took only 3 months and they got married, while Sally is looking at the whole situation a little bit differently.
12 years and 3 months.
And this is again where I think the movie is giving quite damaging message, whereas, Sally is counting from the get-go. A woman will always invest just to get that at the end, and she should be willing to be patient, even if the guy is a jerk, even if the guy is obnoxious, even if the guy is treating women poorly. I mean, just stick next to him, show him different ways, and voila. All in all, the whole situation just leaves you with this question: why was Sally not pursued by Harry, being that she is intelligent, mature, a catch, and it was more so Sally waiting for Harry to make that decision? And hopefully this video gave you some insights on how you should recognize your value and share it with those who actually seek it, who actually appreciate it, who actually give back. Of course, love can develop from friendships, and situationships can turn in commitments, but don't stay and continually invest hoping that will happen. Because while Sally got her happy ending, if you can call it like that, most women probably won't, okay? Trust your individuality and connect authentically. Now, if you are up for more insights on love and chasing people you shouldn't chase, then I recommend watching this video. It's all about Iris from The Holiday and how she finally developed the confidence and the gumption to take charge of her own life.